Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome back to Ultimate Dirt TV. Tonight, the Wicked Wednesday Monsters of Dirt doubleheader is about to start. We are getting set for race number 2, the Super Late Models, live from Lanier National Speedway. Good evening, Brett Wheeler in the booth with you for tonight's call as we get set. As well, qualifying is already underway, and let's take a look at the drivers on the left hand side of your screen. We are going to be joined here by Stephen McMillan in just a few moments time, so we'll unmute, let him come in to the booth as we are now joined by Stephen. And Stephen, well, while you're getting into the server, welcome into the Monsters of Dirt Wicked Wednesday Super Late Models here at Lanier. Alright, you can still talk, but you are... Pro Late Models just happened at the Volusia Speedway Park, where 51 drivers took to qualifying, and now we've got 27 drivers for the Super Late Models tackling Lanier National Speedway 3/8 of a mile racetrack. Again, it's a racetrack that we've seen some good racing in the Super Late Models.
Well, that was an awesome car count they had in the Pro Late Models. And, you know, the Supers always put on a good show for it.
While you're getting into the server, we'll just continue to go through the qualifying session here. Of course, Hayden Carbell, top of the speed charts with a 13.715. He is nearly a tenth quicker than Austin Yarbrough. Now, these are fixed setups, so just to reiterate on that one, all drivers on the same set. It all comes back down to the driver and their abilities to get around this 3/8 of a mile racetrack. Austin Yarbrough second, JD Brown third, Dylan Wilson fourth, and Jarrett Murphy rounds out your top five. You go back to Dylan Hauser, Wesley Gwaltney, Shad Prescott, Nookie Haney, Dylan Thomas, David Carbell, Calvin Herring, CJ Phillips, Jesse Johnsrud, Dylan Petty, Brent Carter, Jason McConnell, Joshua Hessen, Anthony Cordell, and Michael Spengler. Your top 20, the 21 through to 27 looks like this: Brian Wax, Trace Bentley, Darren Little, Zach Zoftzen. Zach, I apologize every chance I've ever butchered that one. Daniel Stifler, John Etheridge, and Blake Hardy. So 27 cars. We've had 30, I think, 2, 4, 6, 8, 35 sign into the pit area, but only 27 take to qualifying. Qualifying session about to wrap up here, so we'll move into some heat racing action. I believe we're going to have 3, might even have 4 heat races on the program. Wait and see. The session is going to roll over right now, so that is qualifying officially done and dusted. Hayden Carbell will be quick time here this evening. We are going to have just the 3 heat races on the program. And of course, let's go trackside right now and take a look here at your Ultimate Dirt TV starting grid for heat number 1. Starting on pole, heat race number 1 in cut number 7, going to be Hayden Carbell. On his outside of the number 80 car, the D1RT entry of Dylan Wilson will line up at a position 2. Position 3 will see the 81 of Wesley Gwaltney line up alongside the 03 of Dylan Thomas at a position 4. We go back to CJ Phillips alongside Brent Carter in row 3, Anthony Cadill, Trace Bentley in row number 4 with Daniel Stifler rounding up this 9-car field. Steve, who do you like in this one, Carbell or Wilson?
Well, you know, I like Wilson. I'll go Wilson, you know, but 8 laps, I mean, it's going to go quick, bro.
That indeed it will. 8 short laps around this 3/8 of a mile dirt racetrack known as Lanier National Speedway. Again, this is part 2 of this Wicked Wednesday doubleheader for the Monsters of Dirt. We just witnessed the Pro Late Models at the Volusia Speedway Park, and now we come to the Super Late Models fixed setup here for round number 7 of 10 here live from Lanier National Speedway. Once again, we are getting set to go green flag racing. Since you took Wilson, I'll take Carbell. Pretty easy. He'll have command of the field as well, but no doubt these 2 boys are going to certainly put on a show. Top 5, 8 laps of distance here, and we are green here at Lanier. It's going to be Carbell getting the good jump over Wilson, but Wilson now looking back to his inside here on the exit of turn number 2, so Wilson not going to go away that easily for Carbell.
No, he's not. It's battling side by side, Brett. Some great action from these two drivers.
In fact, Wilson's going to take the lead down the back straight away here for the second time this evening, I should say. Round 7 here at Lanier. It is now going to be Carwell going to fight back up on the inside, but Wilson, he has got the top spot, and he has got that #1 spot. He will look to start on pole for tonight's main event. That is what's at stake. If you finish second, you're going to start position 4 in tonight's A main. So again, it's either the front row or the second row, inside or outside, on where you, depending on where you finish in this one. 4 down, 4 to go.
That's right. You know, Dylan's been strong coming on lately, and that's one reason why I picked him.
And he's always been one of the top late model guys and UMP modified guys here on the iRacing.com service, as is Hayden Carwell. Wesley Gwaltney back there in position 3, Dylan Thomas 4th, and CJ Phillips rounding out your top 5. And again, a reminder, top 5 going straight through to the main event. Brent Carter back there in 6th. He's on the outside looking in. He'll have to run the B main tonight, but it is still Dylan Wilson. 2 laps to go for the number 80 machine.
That's right. You know, your top 5 make it through.
Through turn number 3 and 4 right now, the white flag being given here in tonight's heat race number 1. Dylan Wilson now 2 turns away from putting the number 80 D1RT entry on pole for tonight's main event through 3 and 4. Checkered flag is out, and he will get the job done here in heat race number 1. Second will go to Hayden Carwell, Wesley Gwaltney in 3rd, Dylan Thomas 4th, CJ Phillips round out your top 5. Those 5 drivers straight through to your main event. Carter, Cadill, Bentley and Stifler are going to be sent in towards your B main. Heat number 2, Steve, will go trackside and take a look now at your Ultimate TV starting grid.
Alrighty, starting your front row is car number 00 of Austin Yarborough on his outside. Car number 25 of Jarrett Murphy. Start your second row inside. Car number 14 of Shad Prescott, and his outside in the 07D of Davin Cardwell, I believe. Oh, it's David. Okay. David's okay. Cool deal. Cool deal. It's the Pops. Third row inside. Car number 75, Jesse Genre. And on his outside, in the car number 114, is Jason McConnell. Starting 7th, car number 30, Michael Spingler. And on his outside, car number 421 of John Etheridge.
Again, that is 8 cars here for heat race number 2. And who do you like in this one?
A hard one. I'll go with Shad.
Yeah, no, that's who I was going to pick. All right, well, you know what? I'll take Yarborough. I guess I'll take the pole sitter for the 2 races in a row. Kind of feel like I'm cheating there, but you know, it is what it is. 8 short laps, you can't muck around, Steve.
And as Austin Yarborough will lead him to the green flag. Green flag's out.
Keep an eye on the 25 of Jarrett Murphy. He's going to have his hands full right now with Shad Prescott up on the inside as Prescott looks to take over second spot and almost take over the race lead in the same turn, but he had to get out of the throw and the car just snapped loose on him there on the exit of turn number 4, but he gathers it back up. Now back to the inside of the 25 of Murphy into turns 3 and 4. It's still Yarborough leading, but I think Murphy might have something here on the top side.
That's right. He's showing good momentum there on that high side. It looks like the high side's starting to come in.
Right through the middle, Jarrett Murphy rolls through to number 3 and 4. We complete lap number 3. Prescott now moves into second. He will challenge Yarborough here for the race lead in the last 5 laps of this one, Steve.
That's right. You look now, Shad Prescott looking underneath of Austin Yarborough. Trying to get that lead. They're going to be side by side. Coming out turn number 2. He is your new race leader.
And how long can he hang on to the race lead and puts a slider there as Murphy goes around. Cardwell caught up, involved in that one. And well, Etheridge going to get caught up involved with just 2 laps left to run this time. Bypass the start-finish line. Prescott now finds himself a 2.5 second advantage over Jesse Johnsrud. Yarborough sits in 3rd. Spengler in 4th. And David Cardwell right now on that bubble spot in 5th position. But look at the car behind him, the 421 Etheridge, trying to make something happen. He's on the outside looking in. He will start position 2 in the B main tonight if he's unable to get that one done. And Austin Yarborough's got some problems, so Etheridge just gets into the back of him. Now Etheridge is, got some problems. McConnell now going to get into that 5th spot. What a crazy race. Boy, oh boy, it had it all. Prescott ahead of Johnsrud, Spengler, Cardwell, and McConnell home in 5th. Then you go back to Murphy, Yarborough, and Etheridge. Boy, oh boy, Etheridge certainly had his chance there to get into the feature event, but of course, just obviously not expecting there as Yarborough really was slowing there on the front straightaway there as they come to the white.
It looked like something broke on the rear end of that car. And maybe it just wasn't expecting it.
Well, I'll tell you what we are going to be expecting. What's not broken is our Ultimate Dirt TV starting grid. Starting on pole, the number 14 car of JD Brown. He lines up alongside the Slick Sim Sports number 2 machine of Dylan Hauser. Mookie Haney will start position 3. Calvin Herring in the 08 will start position number 4. Position 5 will be the 5 of Dylan Petty. Alongside him, the 118 of Joshua Hessen out of position 6. Brian Wax will start position 7, and Zach Zofson will start position number 8. Gee, Zach's got a tough gig ahead of him. All right.
Yes, he does.
Righto, Steve. I'll let you pick again. Who you got this one?
I'm going to go with the bulldozer, Dylan Hauser.
You know what? I want to go JD Brown just for the simple fact that he's on pole and make it 3 from 3, but screw it. I'm going to go with it. Whatever. It is what it is. Let's see if I can't finish another race up front. Green flag's out. JD Brown, Dylan Hauser. It's going to be Brown, of course, will lead the field into turn number 1 and 2. Hauser and that Slick Sims board down on the graphics number 2 machine now working to the inside there on JD Brown, but JD Brown, he's got all the experience in the world, as does Hauser. So these are a couple of veterans going at it right now. And I tell you what, I've been calling Dylan Hauser's races for quite some time now, even going back to the old R-Factor days.
That's right. You look at Dylan, he's putting heavy pressure, but JD Brown just has that momentum. And look at Mookie Haney now putting pressure on Dylan Hauser as they're almost 3 wide for the...
Now Haney falls back to 3rd spot as once again Hauser putting the pressure on the inside, and JD Brown, there's half a car length separating the pair as they go into turn number 1 and 2. Hauser going to slide up in front of Brown, and Brown going to get a piece of the right or the rear bumper there of Dylan Hauser. Here comes Haney to the inside on JD Brown. Steve, I'm going to be 0 for 3 for the cars starting on the pole position. What is going on?
This ain't like you, huh?
This is uncharacteristic, like I must say that's for sure. As Hauser, 5 down, 3 to run. It's now the battle on for 2nd and 3rd. Haney and JD Brown. Haney and Brown side by side on the exit of turn 2. Haney's got the momentum down the back straight over. And here comes Brown. He continues to work the outside of the speedway. 2 to run.
Hey, you look at Mookie. I mean, he's doing his best. Oh, JD Brown gets a little loose in that turn. He drops back to 3rd. And now he has pressure with Dylan Petty. Now moves into 3rd spot.
Yeah, Petty moves into 3rd spot here at the white flag as Brown going to fight back up on the inside. So Brown been in the thick of things. He's been in the walls here for heat race number 3, but through turn number 3 and 4, Dylan Hauser going to be victorious here in heat 3. 2nd going to go to Haney. 3rd is going to be Petty at the line. Brown comes home in 4th, and Herring rounded out to top 5. Hessen, Wax, and Zofchin back there in position number 8. That was. So that is heat races complete. I believe we're going to move into tonight's B main. We'll take a look right now at your Ultimate Dirt TV starting grid. All right. Well, this is interesting, and an all-car invert for the B main, which again, I think the admins that set this server up may have made that mistake. So we're going to go through all the way to position number 11 on the grid. So Daniel Stifler will start on pole. Zach Zofchin will start out of position 2. Austin Yarborough out of 3. Bentley out of 4. Wax and Etheridge out of positions 5 and 6. Cadill, Hessen, Murphy and Carter are going to make up this 10-car field. 10 cars, and all cars will transfer, I believe. $15 laps on the board for your B main here this evening. All cars going to transfer. They are racing for positions. This was scheduled to be a 26-car A main, of course, with the top 15 locking in. The technically top 11 will make the B main, although only 10 cars are going to be here. So we're going to start 25 of 26 in tonight's main event. We are green. As it's going to be 71 of Daniel Stifler leading down the back straightaway for the first time as they're 2 and 3 wide down into turns 3 and 4 for the opening time.
You know, every spot they make, Brett, is one extra spot they get to move up into the future race that they're starting. And this high side starting to come in pretty strong, Brett.
Yeah, it's pretty much every car that you pass in this one, you don't have to technically pass in the A main, but again, you've got to keep that car underneath you. You can't just be throwing big haymakers and dive bombs, and we're seeing a lot of these drivers work to the outside of the racetrack. Hopefully, and these super late models as well, Steve, they are known for driving right through the slick, so they're not afraid to drive right through the slick and still be just as fast as the guys on the top side. I've seen it many a times.
That's right. Normally, when the center slicks off, you get a couple drivers. They're actually pretty fast at keeping it down on the bottom, and you got some that are good at driving through the slick, sliding up to the high side. So, and you got people running good on the high side where you can possibly have 3 wide action on this track. We've seen it.
Yeah, seen it before, and I've no doubt we'll see it again here in the super late model race for your main event here as well. We've got the 25 of Jared Murphy there, just driving it a little too hard there into turns 3 and 4, but thankfully he doesn't get into the side of anybody else as Brent Carter works on the outside of Anthony Cadill. And again, this is the battle for 5th and 6th at the moment. These drivers have done very well so far. 7 laps, and we're yet to see the yellow flag be brought out. And that just goes to show you right now that maybe race control has just told them, well, let's just smarten up a bit. As Brian Wax now, he's going to move into 2nd spot over Daniel Stifler. Stifler going to work back to his inside into turns 3 and 4.
That's right. You look at the 421 moving up to 4th place. Well, as I said, they hits the wall, allowing Brent Carter to move up.
Number 3 wide, Etheridge, Murphy, and Cadill. They single out. They go back to 2 by 2. Now is Etheridge on the outside of Murphy. Etheridge on the top side. We are 10 down this time by on the exit of turn number 4. Just 5 laps to run, so 2/3 of the race distance complete. And it's all happened under the green flag conditions, and I might have just spoke too soon.
Keep it going. We stay under green as Austin will come out turn number 4 to complete lap number 11.
Which means 4 laps. Make that 3 laps left to run now. As Yarborough just rides the bottom side. Oh no, Brian Wax. He's unfortunately put that car on pit road contact there with the 69 of Brent Carter. Thankfully for the 14 car, well, he's going to have another shot at tonight's main event, but unfortunate for him right now as his B main chances are done and dusted, so he's going to have to come from the back of the field. As we've just got, he's come back out on the racetrack. There he is on the front stretch. White flag going to be up this time by some crazy things. We've got a full moon tonight, Steve.
That's right, and a full moon is always fun to have.
Wow, Yarborough just literally just throwing it in there sideways. Checking flag is out. 15 laps complete here in your B main. And the win goes to Austin Yarborough, Stifler second.
I just didn't know what to say or think about that.
Yeah, that was yeah, I'm the same. Anyhow, we've got a 5-minute warm-up session, so we'll take this opportunity right now to step aside here on Ultimate Dirt TV and come back in just a few moments' time. We are back here on Ultimate Dirt TV for the Wicked Wednesday Monsters of Dirt Super Late Model portion of the night. Brett Wheeler alongside Stephen McMillan as we get set for tonight's Ultimate Dirt TV starting grid for your main event here at Lanier National Speedway. Looks like we got 24, make that 22 starters on the racetrack for the time being. Those drivers look like this: Dylan Wilson, Chad Prescott in row 1, Dylan Hauser, Hayden Cardwell, row number 2, row number 3, Jesse Johnsrud, Mookie Haney in row 3, Wesley Gwaltney, Michael Spengler in row 4, Dylan Petty, Dylan Thomas, row 5, row 6, David Cardwell, JD Brown, CJ Phillips, Jason McConnell, Calvin Herring, Austin Yarbrough, Daniel Stifler, Joshua Hessen, Brent Carter, Jarrett Murphy, Anthony Codill and Trace Bentley. So just 22 starters for 50 laps around Lanier for round number 7 of the Super Late Model Monsters of Dirt season. 10 weeks on the schedule. So after this one, 3 weeks left to go. Steve, pick a winner.
I'm going to stick with the bulldozer, Dylan Hauser. I might get slapped after this race, but that's who I'm going with.
You know what? I'm going to go for 4 for 4 from the pole. He's probably not going to win now that I'm going to pick him, but I'm going to go with Dylan Wilson in that number 80 machine. RN Trash, thank you for the follow on Twitch as we get set here for 50 laps around Lanier National Speedway. We are green here at Lanier, and it is Wilson. Hauser now moves into second spot there. 3 wide down into turns 1 and 2, and we're only on lap number 1 as they make contact. 3 wide down the back straightaway. Jesse Johnsrud stuck in that 3-car battle, that 3 wide battle. But meanwhile, Look at your top four. Look at the names: Wilson, Hauser, Prescott, and Cardwell. They all move. They all start to move clear of the rest of the field already.
That's right. Hauser in the D1RT sandwich right now as they're working that bottom line. As you see, Brett, as the feature race, everybody started on the bottom. Most of the front drivers, where the heat races, they started working their way up to the high side.
Well, it won't be too long before they are on the top side. We might even see that slider line come in, and one person that loves running that slider line is the number 80 machine of Dylan Wilson. We've seen him do it plenty of times here on Ultimate Dirt to be run that slider line, especially around Lanier. Can't tell you how many times he's actually won here, because even in a pro late model, he just knows how to get the job done. And, well, so far, as they come through turn number 3 and 4 this time by, we are 5 laps in, and look at Cardwell. What's his name? Hayden Cardwell. Almost called him David then. Hayden Cardwell has gone to the top already after just 5 laps. That's the ballsy move, I must say.
Well, he's searching, Brett. You have to search if you want to make a move at any time. So right now, by him running that high side, he's knowing what he's doing and seeing if he catches anything. If he doesn't, he hasn't really lost anything, because the top 5 drivers have pulled away from the field.
Well, he is running the top side of the racetrack, because the only driver inside of this top 5 to run the outside. And just watch that right rear and the rear end as he smashes the wall in turns 1 and 2 just then. We continue to watch the 44 machine. Sorry, the 41 of Shad Prescott, excuse me. I did say the 44. I don't know why I said 44, but they're already reaching lap traffic, and the first car going to go a lap down is going to be the 14 car of Brian Wax. So Wax, after 9 laps complete, he's going to be a lap down already.
That's right. It looks like his setup is not really good right now on Brian Wax. You see him get loose, get tight, and squirrely come down the turn.
Yeah, just probably advising the drivers there on the lead lap just to, hey, go low. I'm just going to start at the top side and let you all go on by. And have a look at now Wilson. Now it's 10 laps in, and Dylan Wilson has gone to the top side, so he's left the bottom side open as he goes top 1 and 2, bottom 3 and 4. I'm going to look at the lap times between Cardwell right now as the yellow flag comes out. Wilson, that time was a 14.562. Again, so that's a tenth and a bit quicker as Daniel Stifler getting out of the way there in the number 71 machine, where Cardwell with a 14.734. So again, a tenth and a half quicker from the top 1 and 2, bottom 3 and 4. What's going on in the background just there?
I don't know. Brian Wax getting his lap back.
I thought I seen some contact with the 71 of Stifler. Anyhow. So I got to admit, in the early goings of this one, Steve, Wilson, he looks fairly comfortable out in front.
He does. You know, and you saw the last couple laps him starting to search too.
So after 5 laps, we'd seen Hayden Cardwell go to the top side. And then after 10 laps, we've seen Dylan Wilson go to the top side and then change his mind a lap later. Went top 1 and 2, bottom 3 and 4. And again, maybe this drivers obviously might be listening into the broadcast as well, so they might be trying to get some pointers from us during this race. And maybe just try and adjust their lines as the lights out here on the racing.com official pace truck. Stifler going to go and get the lap back here at Lanier. But Wilson and Hauser, so a couple of Dylans on the front row. Once again, green flag is out, 14 down, 36 to go. And look at Cardwell trying to get that run on the top side down into turn number 1 and 2. He might be able to pick up 1 or 2 spots right here as he looks to the outside. Then only 3 wide once again, down into 3 and 4. Cardwell on the top, Hauser on the bottom, Prescott on the bottom as well.
That's right. You know, by Hayden move it up, now you see Dylan move it up, Dylan Wilson. But look at Dylan Hauser working that block.
Yeah, Hauser continuing to work the bottom side of the racetrack. Meanwhile, you continue to see Cardwell and Prescott go side by side. Wilson now to the top shelf. Here goes David Cardwell, going to get a lap, put a lap down. He moves to the outside wall, lets the cars on the lead lap go by so it doesn't disturb. We got Haney around in the 13 car, and he might have had a helping hand there from Wesley Gwaltney. As you see the lights there on the ambulance, they actually turn on. Now, do they turn off? Did you notice that one? The ambulance there on the exit of turn 4. I'm going to keep an eye on this. I think I've just spotted something out. Now, I don't know how many people know this, but every time the yellow comes out, I'm pretty sure those lights on the emergency vehicle turn on as well.
Oh, did not notice that.
It's only the fact that I just caught a glimpse of it when Haney got turned around. And if you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about, keep an eye on the background right there. You see the lights just behind that billboard sign. They are flashing at the moment. See? They're still going. They're still flashing.
Yep.
I am near sure. Now, like I said, I don't know if anybody else has spotted this one out, but man, what a weird piece of information that I might have just uncovered here.
That's right. You look at West Watney giving the EOL. He'd be going to the rear because of the last caution.
All right.
Light should go out on the base truck this time, Brett.
Wow, look at that. I'm an absolute genius. The lights are out on the emergency vehicle as well. I have just uncovered an absolute gold mine. Geez, the things you can find out here on Ultimate Dirt TV, Steve.
That's right. Just got to pay attention and watch, right?
This is why we are number one.
Pulls off. Look at this. Dylan Wilson on loud pedal. Look right there as Hayden Cardwell looks underneath of the two of Dylan Hauser.
And now it's Prescott to go upstairs into turn number 3 and 4. Yellow out once again. And Prescott and Carbon, we come together there on the front straightaway. So who we got turned around this time? The 99 of Anthony Cordell on the rear end is up on that super late model. So he will be done for the evening. The pace truck just monster 4-wheel driving over the barrier here. And yeah, keeping secrets from us. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This is why we're number one, Steve.
That's right. So, you know, I wonder how awkward Dylan Hauser feels being in this D1 RT sandwich right now.
Look, I'm going to say it's not the only time he's been involved in the. He's not the only time he's been the meat in the middle of a sandwich, whether it's other teams or whether it's D1 RT. So Hauser just loves being the meat in the sandwich. Wonder if he likes white bread or multigrain bread.
We should ask him if he gets the interview.
I'm sure you'll have no idea what we're on about. I mean, I got to think. Sometimes I don't even think we know what we're on about.
Lights are off on a pace vehicle. Dylan Wilson will lead us back to the green flag as they're on a back straightaway. They start making that hard left-hand turn. Green flag's out. Dylan Wilson on loud pedal, but look at Hayden Cardwell getting a good jump there. Dylan Hauser trying to pinch him off just a tad bit, going down the back straightaway. But look at the 14 of the 41 of Shad Prescott moving to the high side, putting pressure on the 7.
And we were halfway home on the restart. 20 now we got 27 down, 23 to run. That's the yellow flag. Got to fly, and it's Haney involved once again here in the number 13 car. So not having a good night in the super late models and what he did in the pro late models.
And you know what? I don't know if you noticed this. So every caution that's came out, Dylan Hauser is side by side with Dylan Wilson.
Yeah, it's going to be frustrating. Gotta be frustrating. I'm still mind boggled about what I just uncovered. iRacing keeping secrets from us.
That's right. Hopefully they use some. They probably have some other things we don't know about, Brett.
It's all about paying attention. Paying attention to your surroundings. And again, what other broadcast company tells you this kind of information? No one.
That's. I wonder if Dylan likes mayonnaise on his sandwich.
Oh, he loves mayonnaise. Let me tell you, he slaps that all over his sandwich.
His lights are off on the pace vehicle. Going this time. Single file restarts now.
Only got 20 to go, Steve.
That's right, the final 20 laps. Can Dylan Wilson keep it going? And green flag's out.
And Prescott caught a piece of the wall there in turns number 1 and 2 and unsettled that race car. Now we see Caldwell move back to the bottom side, and I spoke about it earlier on, Steve. Super late models have the ability to run through the slick and still keep pace with the cars that run through the tacky on the top side. And Hauser showing that right now on the bottom side.
That's right, but look at Shad Prescott. Did he find something now where he's starting to gain on the 2-car Dylan Hauser. But look at Dylan Hauser, shuts the door, kind of bunches them up right there.
Yeah, Carbwell now, will he go for the slider into turn number 3 and 4? He does, nearly tags the back of the number 2 machine. In fact, he may have even just caught a little piece of that rear spoiler there going down into the middle of turn number 3 and 4. Prescott down low, back down through 1 and 2. He looks to take back over third spot, but it's going to be Carbwell to ride right above the slick and then slide it to the cushion there on the exit of turn number 4. And right now, it looks like it's a very even racetrack at the moment. The bottom might just be a little bit better than the top side, but Carbwell still not going to give up that top side without a fight.
That's right. And, you know, teammates or not, they're going to put on a hell of a show. You look at Dylan Wilson. He runs the high side in 1 and 2 and the bottom of 3 and 4.
I'm going to call this right now. In the next 5 laps, you're going to see the 80 car of Dylan Wilson run the slider line just to test it. Test the waters just to see what's going on. Meanwhile, there's a slider from Carbwell on Hauser as Wilson that goes back to the bottom side. There's the slider line from Carbwell already. There, look, right on cue. I said it was going to be the 80 car of Dylan Wilson, but someone's running the slider line.
That's right. You know, ESP didn't work right for you, but at least you got it right. It is ESP, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it could be ESPN. Uh-oh, not copyrighted, boys, not copyrighted. Oh, Hessen and CJ Phillips stuck together in turns 1 and 2. And I got to admit, Hayden Carbwell, if he is listening, he needs to run the slider line in 3 and 4. Top 1 and 2, slider line through 3 and 4. Let's see which driver listens to the communications here on the broadcast. And let's see which driver is going to run that slider line through turns 3 and 4, because I've just found the fastest way to get around here, and that was courtesy of watching the lap times. As there goes Carbwell, runs the slider line through 1 and 2. They're probably going to do the same thing into turn number 3 and 4, and he needs to start getting it. He's changed it up. Slider line 1 and 2, top 3 and 4.
That's right. They're closing in on lap traffic in a hurry, so this is going to change things up just a tad bit, Brett.
There goes Wilson down to the low side. He's got Brian Wax running the slider line through turns 3 and 4 just then. He will stay to the top shelf. Yellow. Oh boy, this is going to set us up.
Did the bulldozer just bulldoze to 41?
I'm not sure. Let's go back and let's take a look at our first wicked cushion instant replay of the night here at Lanier National Speedway. Well, you know what? I'm not going to... I mean, that's just, to me, that's a racing deal. He got tight, and you can see Hauser was off the gas. That was, I don't think there was anything in that one.
Yep.
I mean, I even just went on board there with the number 2 car of Dylan Hauser, and you can hear him off the throttle as Prescott dove to the inside, and you can really hear Hauser off the throttle. So I'm not going to blame anyone for that one. I mean, if anything, the blame would almost go on Prescott there, because he tried to dive it down low and caught a piece of the inside wall. But, again, I'm not going to blame anyone. So, if these boys are listening, top 1 and 2, slider line 3 and 4. This, I guarantee, that is the fastest way around this racetrack right now. And I say that because Carbwell hit a 14.6 there. While everyone right now is 14.7, 14.8, 14.9s.
Green flag's out. And you know what, Brett? Joshua Hessen moving up to 4th, and CJ Phillips rounds out your top 5.
Yeah, meanwhile, we've still got a battle on between your top 3 cars. It's still Wilson. 4 laps left to run. Now the point of no return. There comes the slider from Carbwell down into 1 and 2. He puts the slider on. Wilson turns it underneath him. Oh, here comes Hauser now on the inside of Carbwell into 3 and 4. 3 laps left to run, Steve. It's still anybody's ball game.
It is, and you look right there, the crossover move. Cardwell. Look at this, Brett.
Yeah, they're not afraid to put some sliders on each other, rub some pedals. Of course, you can do these in these big, super late model fended styles of cars. Hauser and Carbwell come together there on the front straightaway, and that could be the moment that gives Dylan Wilson victory here at Lanier National Speedway. Oh, deja vu. This time it's Cardwell putting the exact same move on Hauser for what Shad Prescott did just a few laps ago. White flag is out. Final time. Cardwell into the wall. Hauser on the inside. Dylan Wilson down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. Dylan Wilson gonna be victorious. Steve, I got it. I picked the winner of the main event. Second gonna go to Hauser. And third at the line is Hayden Cardwell. Boy, that was close.
That was like bumper cars for the second spot.
Ah, you do what you got to do. Let's take a look now at your JR Productions and Media unofficial results. Dylan Wilson coming away victorious with Dylan Hauser home in second. Hayden Cardwell will round out your top 3. Joshua Hessen in 4th. CJ Phillips will round out your top 5. Jason McConnell home in 6th. Dylan Petty in 7th. Brent Carter in 8th. Wesley Gwaltney in 9th. And Austin Yarborough will round out your top 10. 11th through to 20th looks like this. Dylan Thomas, Jesse Johnsrud, Mookie Haney, Shad Prescott, and Daniel Stifley your top 15. Brian Wax in 16th, the last car on the lead lap. Trace Bentley, 1 lap down in 17th. Michael Spengler, Calvin Herring, Anthony Cadill home in 19th and 20th. Then, of course, David Cardwell, Jarrett Murphy, JD Brown wants the 23 starters in this one. I have no idea if we're going to chat with our top 3.
Well, I will tell you this. There might be some upset drivers right now in the first second. But with that being said, Brett, that's short track racing. No one got taken out right there. They rubbed, they banged. That's a short track race.
That indeed it is. Well, we are going to go trackside right now and chat with our top 3, and we'll chat to the winner here home in first place, and he finally gets to the victory lane here at Lanier. It's going to be Dylan Wilson. Dylan, first of all, congratulations on this victory. It was, 50 laps out in front, but you had some pressure behind you from 3 guys in particular, but you managed to hold them off and come away victorious. Going to be pumped about that one.
Yeah, it was a fun race to start at front end. I know it was probably hard to pass in the pack, but that's why qualifying's so important. I had a good heat race and was able to start on the pole and just kind of hang on. I knew I could see what them guys were running in the back, but I hate being mirror drove, so I wasn't about to mirror drive them. So, I got kind of lucky. Hayden hit the wall there when he threw a slider. Otherwise, he probably would have drove by me. And tonight was just my night. And I've been up here talking to you a lot the last couple of weeks, so something's going right lately.
He certainly found something here ever since for a number of weeks, as you said. But normally the slider line comes in here at Lanier. I did touch on it throughout the course of that one. Probably before that last year, with about 10 to go, Cardwell actually ran a 14.6 by running top 1 and 2 and the slider line through 3 and 4. Were you just happy continuing to run top 1 and 2 and then bottom 3 and 4, knowing that you thought that was the fastest way to get around here?
Yeah, them guys were saying that the top was there in slider, but like I said, I hate being mirror drove, and I think it ruins the racing and night racing. So I just was going to run in my line until somebody passed me and then search around and find something. So I knew Hayden was fast. I expected him to pass me there at the end, but like I said, I got a little lucky, hit the wall. So we'll take it and move on. And the setup had no traction in it. That's why it was kind of a different racing line. You kind of had to chase the moisture. So it actually made for a really fun race.
Just touching on that, you say the setup now. Obviously, normally we see you in open setup races. Tonight, obviously, and the entire season for here for Monsters of Dirt for their super late model is fixed. It all comes back down to the driver. How much does that play into the fact that, knowing that you come away victorious here tonight just proves that you were the better driver, not only overall, but a better driver tonight, and you're able to find the fastest way around here?
Yeah, the main event is actually it's more of a product of having a good qualifying and heat race. Everybody's so close in time on iRacing that you really have to start up front. It's really difficult to come from the back in one of these things and win it. So like I said, it starts with qualifying and heat race, and for me that went well to start off the night. And we weren't the fastest car in the main by any means, but starting up front again, it's really hard to make a clean pass on somebody, and Hayden tried. Like I say, he hit the wall, so that helped me, and he ran out of laps at the end. So,
well, congratulations on the victory. I know you got some people you want to thank and some sponsors as well. So we'll let you get out of here, but before we do, those sponsors and shout outs before you go.
Yeah, my sponsor is D1RT Racing, and the shout outs to you guys, UDTV, Monsters of Dirt for putting this deal on, and anybody else that's involved behind the scenes.
And you can't forget Ed, buddy. All right, Dylan Wilson, they're home in first place. We'll throw it over to Steve McMillan, who's going to chat with another Dylan, but it's going to be Dylan Hauser who comes home in second.
Well, congratulations, Dylan Hauser, on your second place. The last couple of laps, Rubbins Racing, we've been told, you've been known as a very aggressive driver. And on these short tracks like this, you have to be aggressive. How would you say?
I went good. I mean, the setup was off, and I wasn't as good as Dylan or Hayden probably and Chad, but I was just started up front and stayed up front, and they were just they bonsai the corner on me in the middle and turned themselves, so that's their fault. But the last couple laps, Hayden just went after he tried that bonsai slider on me. I just wasn't gonna race him with respect. I've raced him with respect the past couple of months, so I expect the same. And if he wants to send it up the inside of me and turn himself, he can. But it's gonna turn himself, and he knows the consequence of that, and it gave him that. So, but Dylan drove a great race. He was smooth on the wheel. He's one of the best at just finding the moisture and keeping the car in the traction. Where I was just not as good as him, mainly off the corner. He was a little better. I think he was just putting the tires to the ground a little better than I was. So that was the difference tonight. I'll take second any day of the week to the guys that were in that server. There's some heavy hitters, and we'll come back next time and try to get the win.
So, talk about heavy hitters. So, on a short track like this, you have to be aggressive. Right?
Yeah, I mean, like in the heat race. I mean, I ran. You start sixth, seventh, eighth. Like Hayden Cardinal, he was probably the fastest guy here tonight on a fixed set. With the line it was, but he got past in his heat race. Dylan got under him, and there's really nothing he could have done there. But so I just follow, and that kind of cost him tonight, I would say. But I mean, yeah, when you got the guys that were in that server tonight, it's tough to come from the back to win these. And like JD Brown, for instance, he's really good in the fixed setup stuff, and he probably could have won this race if he started up front, but he got some unfortunate luck in the heat race, I think, and yeah, cost him.
Well, I gave you a new nickname tonight just because I know you're aggressive and I know you're a good driver. Did you,
Oh Lord.
Dylan, the bulldozer Hauser?
Houseboat. That's it. It's called houseboat.
Houseboat. There you go.
Yeah.
So, one last question. Me and Brett wants to know on your sandwich, do you like mayonnaise?
Nah, I don't like mayonnaise.
Okay. All right. So, who would you like to think make it all possible tonight?
Slick Sim Sport, Beefcake Esports, Down Under Graphics, T20 Designs, and all of our sponsors, all of our teammates, and we can't do it without.
All right. That's Dylan Hauser coming home second. Back to you, Brett, with your third place finisher.
Yeah, we'll chat to our third place runner here tonight, Hayden Carble. He went quick time this evening, but he just sucked in his heat race, and well, he comes away short here in tonight's main event. Hayden, congratulations, third place run here. I think with about 4 to go, you had your moment and your opportunity on Dylan Wilson for the race lead, but you overdrove it and put it into the wall. Talk about that moment.
Yeah, started off with stepping on it in the heat race. Let Wilson get under me there, which there in the heat race, it was just kind of right there on the seam. It is what it is, started fourth. Felt like we had a really good car. Try to work that top in the whole entire race, and we ended up working our way to second there. And yeah, like you said, I had my moment. Doing what 16 years old do. Went in there, threw a slider, and just stepped on it, hit the wall, and I felt bad because I thought I really stubbed Wilson, but he said I didn't. So kind of just put it in the wall after I did that and let him go. And the whole incident with Hauser, I wasn't racing him dirty. I just, kind of did what he did to me, and that's about it. I mean, enough said there. I mean, I know I'm suspended from pro, but or got banned from pro, but he's been suspended his amount of times too. But he can say he races clean, but he doesn't, and everybody else knows that. He's gonna do what he does.
Well, I'm going to go back to about lap 35, 36, 37, somewhere around there, late 30s. Everyone's, turning lap times in the 14.8s, 14.9s, 15.0s. You go to the top 1 and 2, you put the slider line through 3 and 4, you turn a 14.6, you don't touch that line ever again. What in the world?
You know, in the moment you're not thinking, and it's kind of hard to run that slider line whenever you got somebody around the bottom in front of me. Like Wilson, he would run the top in 1 and 2, but he wasn't going to the top in 3 and 4, so it would have been hard without dumping him to run that line. So we just tried to rip the fence all the way around that. But I really didn't even know it was a lot faster, but it felt good. But yeah, it's kind of hard to run that line whenever somebody's right there in front of you.
All right. Do you not have you got your relative on during the races, or you don't run a relative, so you don't know so you don't even know what times you're running?
No, I don't run a relative.
Oh, okay. Well, that answers that next question that I was going to ask. But well, congratulations, third place run here tonight to come away 2 spots shy of probably where you want to be, but nonetheless a good result for you and the team. We'll let you get out of here and celebrate. But before we do, those sponsors and shout outs one more time.
Oh yeah, just got to thank everybody at DUNRT, Eddie Livingston. He allows me to be on one of the best teams, if probably actually the best team on iRacing.
Second best team, sorry. Black Diamond's number one.
Sprint car team, head scratcher there. But yeah, I gotta thank all them guys over there. They do their work, and Shad had tough luck tonight. Fortunately, got into it with Hauser there, but that's just how it is there. And I gotta say congrats to Wilson on the win. He drove a race. Thought it was a pretty good race there, the whole race. So hopefully we put on a show for the broadcast. I want to thank you and Steve and everybody at Ultimate Dirt TV and John for the league for letting us race. Thank you.
All right, there we go. Hayden Carball there, home in make that third place here tonight. To begin your spoils, and your winner goes to the number 80 of Dylan Wilson. That'll wrap us up from Lanier. Steve, final thoughts before we close this one out.
What great racing we had on a little short track. Rubbins racing guys, and they didn't take each other out. So at the end of the night, they can say someone didn't give respect or they gave respect, either or. Brett, they didn't take each other out, so they respected each other at a certain point, and it gave a good broadcast.
I think it's safe to say short track racing at its finest. Tempers flare, but that's just the way it happens. Anyhow, that'll wrap us up from the Lanier National Speedway, and that'll wrap us up for the Monsters of Dirt Wicked Wednesday. The Pro Late Models at Volusia, and then the Super Late Models here at Lanier. Round 7 is complete. Just 3 more weeks left here on this Wicked Wednesday. So if you want to come back and watch all the action for the next 3 weeks, it'll be live right here on Ultimate Dirt TV. We are live across Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So we've got all your Twitch streaming, or all your streaming channels covered, or the main ones anyway. And that'll wrap us up from Lanier. Of course, a big thanks to the Monsters of Dirt for putting on these weekly shows. They race 5 nights a week. But of course, more importantly, a big thanks to our sponsors and partners here at Ultimate Dirt TV. A big thanks to Wicked Cushion, 19 Designs, World of Thunder Racing League, iCore Leagues, JR Productions and Media, Black Diamond Motorsports, and iRacing iFlag. You can catch all their social media pages on our website. Head over to www.ultimatedirttv.com. Click on the sponsors tab and you keep up to date with all the schedule that we've got coming up here over the week, or throughout the week, I should say, for sim racing action. Of course, tomorrow night, Thursday night, will be the Extreme Motorsports 99.com Pro Late Model Series. I believe that is round number 4. Not sure where we're at tomorrow. I think we might be at the Knoxville Raceway. I think we might have been there last week anyhow. It'll be live from about 8:30 Eastern tomorrow. And again, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in here on Ultimate Dirt TV on behalf of the entire team at Ultimate Dirt TV and the management behind the scenes. On behalf of your broadcast team tonight here, Stephen McMillan and myself, Brett Wheeler, we say farewell and a good night until tomorrow. See you then.